Hi, and welcome. Today I am going live to talk about the truth about lasting love and the fact that it's not what you think. And I'm also over here on Instagram. So if you see me, look over to the right. That's because I'm checking in with the folks over here. Hi, welcome. Thanks for joining. And if you are over here, please let me know. Hi, thanks for coming. If you're over here, please let me know if you are live tuning in. I'd love to see it. So drop a hashtag live. And if you're watching the replay, drop a hashtag replay down below so that I know who's with me. I love knowing who's taking in this awesome stuff. So today our topic is the truth about lasting love. It's not what you think. And if you want these show notes, hi, uh, peace back to you. Awesome. Thank you for that live. And if you're over here on Facebook, YouTube, or LinkedIn, just let me know that you're here live or that you're watching the replay. If you would like access to the show notes, drop the word love down below and I will get those to you. They're usually ready about within 24 hours after the show. I do post them in the guides section of my free Facebook group. So if you are a woman, you are invited to join my free Facebook group. And if you're interested in that, message me and I'll get you that link. And every week I do put the show notes. Great, I will get you those show notes. I do put the show notes in the group. So if you're not yet a member of my group, please join me, join us, and get the show notes that way. They'll be up tomorrow. Also, if you have not yet taken my assessment, so I've created an amazing relationship alchemy assessment in 3 to 5 minutes, you'll get a clear snapshot of how you are doing in your relationships, the places where you're showing up great, where it feels solid and strong, and also the places where you might want to put some attention to have it feel better, to have it feel, to show up more skillfully, to have you feel clearer. And if you've not yet taken that, highly recommend. And please drop the word either partnered or single in the notes, in the comments below, and I will get you the appropriate link. I have a different assessment for single folks from partnered folks because the questions are slightly different. And I would love for you to be able to take that assessment, get a clear snapshot so that you can more clearly focus your energies where they need to be focused. And you can put down, not worry about, okay, I'm good here. I know this is working. And over here, here's where I need to put my attention. So this is a beautiful way for you to get a clear snapshot of how to do that. And again, great. I will get you that partnered link after the show. And for anyone here, just go ahead and drop the word partnered or single. So I'm going to now take this down and come over here to the comments. Alrighty, perfect. So we're going to get started now. I'm Marie Elizabeth Molly. If we have not already met, I'm a relationship alchemist. I call myself that. And I help people have more loving and connected relationships for their growth. So in my view, our relationships are one of the most profound and powerful ways that we can know ourselves more deeply and have the practice ground and the playground to evolve, to grow, to show up more skillfully, to be loved in all of our imperfections, and learn how to stay more spacious and present and communicative in the areas where we usually tend to shut down. So our relationships are just one of the most beautiful places where we get to learn about ourselves and we see ourselves. So I love to facilitate people's learning. And I do these live videos 2 to 4 times a month. Hey, Stuart, good to see you. And Ella Marlene, lovely. Hi. I'm also looking over here because over here I'm streaming on Instagram, YouTube, and LinkedIn. So I'm splitting cameras, but I am checking in with y'all. So if you ever have questions or reflections or a nugget, drop it in the comments and I'll see it. If there's something you think I've missed, please message me after the show because these comments actually disappear. So Luckily, I've taken in who's said things so far, but if the comments start coming fast and furious, I might need you to message me to make sure I get it. So today's topic is lasting love. The truth about lasting love. It's not what you think. It can be hard to feel like love can last, right? We start to go into automatic pilot. We start to get caught up in the logistics of life. And all of a sudden, our relationship starts to get flattened, right? It's just not as juicy. Maybe things start to feel routine. And that can, not be so fun. And the first thing I want to say about it is we've been fed this diet of romance and fantasy that has come from books and novels and TV and stuff like that, where it's all about the getting of the relationship, the falling in love, all of it. You get to the wedding and then the kind of story usually falls off. We never see what it's like to sustain a relationship over time. We just don't have a lot of models. So the first step and the first key to lasting love is to let go of the crap that you learned from fantasy and makeup meaning make believe stories, fiction, that set up this unrealistic expectation for love to just stay constantly the same over time. So that's step one, is to let go of the fantasy that love is going to stay the same over time, and that it feeling different from day to day is somehow a failure, because it's not. And then step two, sorry about that over here, I just got a phone call. Step two, to think about, and this was really the impetus for this conversation. What the hell is happening? I apologize. There's some weird thing happening over here with my phone. Step two in this conversation is what transpired with a couple that we were with last week who have been married for 30 years. And they said, and this is what really inspired this whole conversation that I wanted to have with you today, was we got into this conversation about forever, about this idea that the only successful relationship is one that we have for the rest of our lives. That when we fall in love and we commit to somebody, that it's forever. And we may have said that. If we're married, we may likely have said that in our wedding vows, even. I mean, my wedding vows when we got married we had a line in there about, I want to be the one holding your hand when you die. And that was true. We wanted to be the one holding the other's hand when they died. And that still changed. Now, it doesn't mean it wasn't true when we made the vow, but it does mean that our relationship changed. But that's not what we're talking about today. We're talking about creating lasting love. And what this couple did, instead of promising forever, which resonated so deeply with how I actually view and teach relationship, is they committed to being in the question every day. They committed to waking up each morning together and asking themselves, do I still want to be with this person? Do I still, yes, I love this person, and is this relationship still what I want? And through committing to that, now they're married, they've been married for 30 years, and for 30 years, they have woken up and wanted to continue this relationship. Why is this so powerful? Because when we create a rule, like a law or from the outside in, that says, this is my vow, I'm in this forever, no matter what. While that's beautiful in theory, it can lead to a kind of sloppiness. Let's put it that way. It can lead to a kind of disregard for the need to continue to court one another, to treat one another with respect, to really contemplate, do I still want to be with this person? Am I still becoming the person that they would want to be with? By asking this question, and welcome new folks, we're talking about creating lasting love, the truth about lasting love. It's not what you think. By allowing yourself and your partner to be in the inquiry, to ask this question, who am I being? Am I showing up in such a way that I'm inviting this person to continue loving me? It helps to combat this tendency we have. Hi, it's good to see you. It helps to combat this tendency we have for our partner to become like the furniture. You know, if you're just like, oh yeah, we're in this forever, and there's nothing I'm going to do to possibly wreck this, we don't, it just lends itself to sloppiness. It lends itself to not putting the relationship first after our relationship with ourselves, right? So to me, the ideal order with which we approach our relationships is, now depending if you are a spiritual person, your relationship with the divine or with God may be number one. And if you are less spiritual, then your relationship with yourself would be number one. But how you treat yourself is going to be the first priority. Then your family and your relationship would be the next. And then from there, your work and your community. It goes from the inside out, ideally. So this would be the third truth about lasting love. So we've been talking about this. Hola, Daniel. So we've been talking about this from a few perspectives. So step number one is to let go of the fantasy that love is just going to be the same over time, because it changes. We all know this. Romance changes over time. The love that you have with someone you've been with for years, who you've seen through ups and downs, and who has seen you through ups and downs, is a different love than that heady flush of chemicals of romance. And that's a good thing. It's not a failure that it changes. That's number one. Number two is to consider asking yourself and asking each other every day, or with some regularity, do we still want to be in this? Not pledging forever to the point where you're not doing the work to show up and prioritize the relationship, because we can get sloppy when we think something's forever. We can get kind of sloppy with it. Hey, Bill, good to see you. We can get sloppy, right? So that's number two. Number three, I'm doing this, I'm channeling this, so I have no idea what I said for number three. Hang on. The third thing would be to have your priorities straight. So your relationship, tending to yourself, how you show up for yourself, how you show up to the relationship and for your family, then to your work, and then to your wider community. That would be a good inside out. And again, if you have a spiritual bent, you may put God at the center first, then you, then your relationship and family, then your work, then your community. But to have your relating come from the inside out, that's the third truth about creating lasting love. Why? Because by putting yourself and God, if that is your thing, putting yourself and God at the center, you keep your own cup filled up so that then when you come to the relationship, you have something to give. You're not coming to the relationship tapped out and empty, trying to pull and get the energy you need to live from that, because that's a sure way to exhaust it. And you're not putting your work above your nearest and dearest, which for those of us who love our work, myself included, can sometimes be a tough priority to keep straight. Especially, I was raised in a family with a father who was a doctor and loved his patients and left the house at 8 a.m. and came home at 8 p.m. And that was my model. And I put my patients, when I was a medical practitioner, I put my patients first for years. And my relationships suffered as a result until I got this priority straight, where it was like, oh, I need to stay filled up. Then I can give to my relationship. My relationship can feed me. That has a healthy cycle. And then I have plenty of energy to give my clients. And then that energy can spill out into the wider community and create change in the world. So that's the third piece of creating lasting love is having those priorities straight. And the fourth is to stay present and communicative with what's true for you now. Too often we feel changes in how we feel about somebody, and we don't communicate them because we're scared. And we're scared that they might take it the wrong way, or they might take it personally, or they might reject us, or whatever it is. And so we don't communicate what we're actually feeling in real time. So rather than this step 4 is linked to step 2 a bit, but rather than staying stuck in a fantasy or forever, to actually stay present with, this is what I'm feeling. I'm not feeling very connected with you today. Here's what I need to feel more connected. Or, oh, I'm so in love with you today. I feel so amazingly connected with you. To share that. Here's what you did that had me feel so connected. That felt amazing. I loved that. To share both those things as they're happening with your partner or partners if you have more than one. That it's the staying present and current with what you're feeling and what you want to need in real time that allows your relationships to have lasting love. It's creating a foundation of trust and strength or solidity between you so that you can each be where you're at. So you don't have to fake it with each other. Because that's the worst. You start faking it, and to me, that's the kiss of death. Somebody else, some other relationship expert might tell you different. These are my truths for creating lasting love. And I'd love to hear from you. If you have any comments, let me know. If this is landing, if this is not landing, if you have questions, please let me know. Because like I said, I'm channeling this on the fly. This is how I feel. And this is what I see in the many relationships that I have the privilege to witness and work with. And again, I want to reiterate that this conversation was inspired by a conversation I had with this beautiful couple who's been married for 30 years. And they said straight up, yeah, we just thought this idea of forever was stupid and unrealistic. And so we committed to be in the inquiry every day. Do I still want to be with this person? And how do I feel about them? And what do I want? And how do, and so their relationship feels alive and generative and creative because they are willing to face and encounter themselves within it. I have something stuck in my teeth. So before I recap, I'd love to know, how's this landing? Does this make sense? Is it blasphemy? What's happening over there? Let me know. And if you're watching the replay, let me know too. I'd like to know if this is landing, because I just feel like there's so much conflicting advice out there about creating lasting love and about just the whole fantasy around relationship. There's just so much misinformation, and I would love to have a world where we're actually interacting with each other from our truth, from what's actually happening, where we're communicating with each other, and we have enough love and safety with each other to be real about what's awesome and about what's hard, to be real about all of it. So if there are any questions or comments before I recap, let me know. I'm checking out the comments over here, waiting to see if there's anything. All right, well, if you have something, drop it in, but I am going to recap now. Today, we're talking about the truth about lasting love, and it's not what you think. We can go into a kind of default, an automatic pilot in our relationships over time. And creating lasting love is the opposite of that. To me, it's something active that we commit to and that we do on a regular basis. And step one is to let go of the fantasies that you've absorbed from books and TV and movies about how relationships are supposed to go, because a lot of what we're fed in romance stories is just that. It's just a story. It's not reality. It's not sustainable. Love changes over time, and that's a good thing. So the fact that it doesn't feel the same now as it felt when you first fell in love is fine. So the first piece is to let go of the fantasy that it's supposed to say the same and that it's always going to feel the same. Step two is to recommit on a daily, weekly, monthly basis to asking yourself, do I still want to be with this person? Not to obsessively pick at the relationship, but to stay current with what you're actually feeling and communicate about it. Do you feel connected or not? Do you feel more love, or do you feel perhaps a little distance? And when you talk openly about what you're actually experiencing, then you can do something about it. You can reconnect. You can take the relationship deeper. This was inspired by a couple who, instead of committing to forever, which can tend to make us get sloppy and have our partner feel like the couch in the house, instead they committed to today. Today, I want to be with them. And they're married, but for 30 years, they've been, today, I still want to be with you today. Cool. Step three, get your priorities straight. Make sure you are relating first, that you are prioritizing how you relate and show up for yourself. And if you're spiritual, that God may be in that first place there, but where your priorities move from the inside out. So you're filling your own cup, then you are pouring over into your relationship with your partner, family, your closest, your nearest and dearest. Then from there, you're pouring out into your work, and from there, pouring out into your community. This is a set of priorities that will set you up to be able to sustain lasting love. And the fourth is The fourth disappeared, so I'm going to leave it off the recap, but if you go back and watch the entire video, you'll see the fourth. But for the purposes of the recap, we'll have 3 steps. And again, if we have not met before, I'm Marie Elizabeth Molly, and this is Relationship Alchemy, the live version. And today we've been talking about the truth about lasting love. And my jam is to support women, especially powerful go-getter women and couples, to have more loving and connected relationships for their growth. So they can have lasting love and growth at the same time, where it's not stagnating, but it's actually growing and deepening and showing them more about themselves and enabling them to be a brighter light in the world as a result. So I look forward to seeing you on the next installment. If you would like to take my assessment, highly recommend. I have a 4 to 5 minute assessment, one for partnered people, one for single people, that will give you a really clear snapshot quickly of what's working well in your relationships and where you need to put your attention to have them improve. If you would like access to that assessment, drop a comment or message me. I suggest after the show is over, if you're on Instagram, please message me because I may not see the comment. And if you are on LinkedIn, YouTube, or Facebook, you can drop it in the comments and I'll see it. Thank you so much for watching today. Thank you for watching the replay, if you're catching the replay. And until next time, remember, a great relationship starts with you.